días. Buenos días, ¿cómo están ustedes? Guys, today we're going to learn about boot verbs and specifically O to UE boot verbs. Now, what is a boot verb? Does that sound familiar? I'm sure that it does to many of you. Before we get into it though, the boot part, I want to go over something. How many of you remember these? What are these? Our AR endings. How about these? IR, ER, okay? You guys remember that when we have an infinitive like cantar or comer or escribir, we have to take off the AR or the ER or the IR and we have to add the appropriate ending, okay? We already know that. So every verb has a stem and an ending, okay? That's super important, the stem and the ending. So as we go over our boot verbs today, our new group, do not forget about our memorized endings because that's important. We can't just forget about those because we're talking about the stem. Some of you remember, I know you do, the boot verb that we already learned. It means to play a sport or a game, and it is jugar. Here it is. All right, to play a game or a sport. Now, do you notice my colored markers there? What kind of verb is this? A boot verb. Why? Because it has a stem change in these three forms and this one. So if I draw, now this isn't going to look that great, okay? So don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me on my drawing abilities of a boot. Well, that's not too bad. Looks kind of like a clown boot, but we'll live with it. Okay, we call these verbs boot verbs just to help us visualize. Here's our box, okay, and we need these, all these three in the singular side of our chart and the very last one. These two, no stem change. So the stem, you guys remember, is whatever is left when you take off the AR, the ER, or the IR, and it has to do with this vowel right here, okay? Now, jugar is a unique verb because it's the only verb in Spanish that changes from U to UE. It's the only one of its kind, very unique. Today, we're going to kind of add to that and verbs that have an O in the stem instead of a U, all right? So let's see, we're going to start with, how about we do one that does not end in AR? I think that's a good idea. So we're going to do this one as an example, poder, okay? Now poder, new to you, I'm sure. It means it's kind of a helping verb, okay? So I'm going to put a ... there. So it means to be able to do something, okay? Many times in Spanish, we use this, and then in English it translates I can, or can you, or we can go to the movies this weekend, or I can play video games after school, okay? So to be able to. All right, now let's check it out. Let's break it down. What kind of infinitive is it? ER, okay? So remember, we're going to use our ER endings. Then we look at the stem, and it's only got one vowel left in it, right? The O. So we're going to be, let me just draw our beautiful box right here, okay? And we all know that that represents our subject pronouns, okay? All right, now let's do the boot, all right? Here we go, drawing the boot. Okay, so that tells us that in that area, in the boot, we're going to have a stem change. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a P right here. Okay. And then next, is my next letter going to be an O in the boot? No, it is going to change to UE. Okay, change to UE, change to UE, change to UE, okay? Now I gotta go back up because after the O there's still a letter left, okay, in my stem, and that would be the D. Okay, so I'm gonna put the D there. And class A, this is the new stem or the stem with the change in it, right? So O to UE. Now, this is just the stem. So we still haven't put any endings on. We need those. Before we put the endings on, let's go back over to these two boxes here. We've got the P, and then we're going to go with the original stem. So no stem change for this. Okay, no stem change, so I can use my black marker. Okay, and then just to clarify, I guess, just so we can see this clearly, we've got ER endings. So what are they? We've got O, all right, so puedo. For tú, our ending is ES, so puedes. For this one, él, ella, usted, we've got puede, the letter E. Okay, with me so far? Here we have what? Hemos, podemos. This one we don't use too often. En España se dicen, sí, podéis. And the last one, our ending is en, so it's pueden. Okay, pueden. All right, now some of you are going to remember the very important question, ¿puedo ir al baño? That you've asked Senora Moore before. Or you've said to me, Mrs. Moore, can I go to the bathroom? And I say, no comprendo inglés. And then you immediately say, puedo ir al baño. This is the verb, okay? This is it right here. Remember, it's an ER, so we have that set of endings. Okay, now let me show you our group. This is kind of a long list here. These are the O to UE verbs that you need to know, you need to memorize. Okay, I'm going to bring them up a little closer so you can get a good look at that. You can pause it to take down your notes, okay? You're going to notice that at the very bottom, I included jugar. A lot of times it's grouped with this group because of the UE, even though it doesn't have an O. Also, can you notice anything about the order that I put these verbs in? If you look carefully, you're going to notice that the first several verbs, what do they end in? AR, right? And then we've got an ER and an ER, and then the last couple are IR. So I went in that order. They're not all just, mixed in there. Remember, stem, ending, stem, ending, stem, ending, stem, ending. Okay, now we're going to practice. Be prepared, Class A. Be prepared to hit the pause button and write your answer under your notes or on a scrap piece of paper. All right, you ready? Here we go. First example is Manuel, and the verb is dormir. Please pause and write your answer. And the correct answer is duerme. Did we remember that one? Okay, so if it's Manuel, that's a boy's name, right? So he, that's the third person singular right here. We want to make sure that we do change the stem, correct? Because it's in the boot, and we have to put the correct ending. Let's try our second example. Here we go, Class A. Juan y Elena, and the verb is almorzar. Go ahead and hit the pause button and write your answer. Correct answer. Well, first of all, are they in the boot? And the answer is they are. So I hope you remembered to change the stem. And it's an AR verb, so our ending should be on. Muy bien. All right, here we go. Number 3. Tú, and the verb is jugar. The answer, juegas. In the boot, AR ending, AR ending. All right, example number 4 is nosotros dormir. Pause and write your answer. Okay, guys, now this one, nosotros, is nosotros in the boot? No, it is not. Nosotros is not. So should we be changing the stem? Nope. So make sure you have D-O-R-M, and then this is an I-R verb. So what's our ending? Yes, dormimos. If you got that one right, ole, ole, ole. All right, next. Yo form of recordar. Pause. Correct answer. Recuerdo. That, by the way, that means I remember. So what would this mean? No recuerdo. Okay, final practice for us together is Sam y yo, and the verb is poder. Pause and write your answer. And the correct answer, I hope we get this one right, podemos. No stem change, not in the boot. Okay, and it's an ER verb. Good job, guys. We practiced that together. Now you need to go make sure you do your tarea and practica, practica, practica. Que tenga buen día.